Do you want to be in my video?
Nope.
No. That's my twin that I've mentioned several times. Say hi, twin. Hello. Her name is Rima. Yep, because I haven't mentioned her name from before. So yeah, it's the morning, and we got home from TIFF yesterday at 3 a.m., or this morning at 3 a.m. I'm still in my pajamas, I haven't eaten yet, and I wanted to make a video for you guys. So yeah, we got home at like 3 a.m. as I mentioned, and we saw the movie. Oh. English Vinglish! So yeah, it was really interesting. I felt like the ending could have been a little bit better. I felt like there were some loose ends that needed to be tied between some of the characters. But overall, it was pretty good. Like, they had to play to their main audience, and because it was an Indian film, they had to play to the customs and the expectations of the Indian audience. Indian, Tamil, whatever kind of audience. So yeah, a recurring item. Oh, look, you can see Rima's hand. Do you see it in the mirror? That's Rima's hand.
I just noticed that.
A recurring, I guess, item or thing that was brought up in the film was the food laddu. And it's an Indian sweet. Some people say it's a pastry. I don't know if I would classify it as a pastry, because when I think of pastry, I normally think of like bready, flaky, baked stuff. And there she is. Do you see her? Yeah. So yeah, they mentioned that throughout the entire film. It was always laddu, 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 and she called her son my laddu. And yeah, at the end of the film, afterwards, they were giving away these boxes. And what did they have in them? They had laddu. So I haven't ever tried one before, and this is going to be my first time trying it. So for those of you who... Oh god, no, it broke. Oh god. For those of you who don't know, this is a laddu. It's kind of broken now. Oh! It's made of lentils and nuts, and it's sweet. I don't know how it's cooked. Like, I wouldn't say it's baked or fried, or I don't even know. But
I think the lentils are like baked in water or something, like just to make them like not dry. Like, so you saw it in the video how she was like kind of straining the lentils out of the water, and then she mixes in like with the spices and the sweets.
Yeah. So yeah, if you didn't hear, Rima's assumption or hypothesis of what happens is that they bake the lentils in.
And they soak them in
They
water.
soak the lentils in water, and then she strained them. Like, they showed how to make them in the movie, not step by step, obviously, but a general process. And she put them in water. I'm guessing she cooked them or something to make them like more moist and less dry. And yeah, and it has nuts in it, and it's a sweet, and I'm gonna try it. This is really good. I'm gonna stop eating now. If you have an Indian friend, or a friend whose mother knows how to make this, tell her to make it, because it's delicious. Except if you have nut allergies, don't eat that. You're not in the mirror. Nope. Let me just stop. So yeah. That's really good. I really enjoyed that. So yeah. There was that. I'm just gonna basically talk about like the day from what happened in the beginning to the end. So, we were waiting in the line. They have like different types of ticket holders. We were in. I'm gonna have Rima explain the ticket stuff.
Oh.
Because she's a volunteer there.
Okay, so we were standing the rush line. So the rush line goes in at the very end. So first people to go in are the patrons, and those are the people that actually donate money personally to the film festival, and they go in first. And Priority access ticket holders, are people that get tickets through companies that sponsor TIFF. So like, let's say if they work for Timberland or Visa, then they would get tickets through their companies and they would end up being in priority access lines. Then people who just buy tickets like over the phone or online or actually at the box office, they would go in with single ticket holders just as the general admission. And then at the very end, 10 minutes before the screening starts, the volunteers and staff members, they count how many empty seats are left in the theater, and then they sell them to people that are waiting in the rush line. That's what they call a rush line.
So yeah, there's that. We were standing in the rush line, and there was a person who, I guess a girl that Rima knew from volunteering, and she asked Rima to save her seat or a spot in line for her. And she said, "Oh, I'm only gonna be half an hour." So she's like, "Okay, whatever. It's only half an hour. It's no big deal. Like, it's a long lineup, or it's a long wait at least." And yeah, so half an hour passed, and she came back maybe twice in the time that we were waiting there, in 3 hours, and just like spoke to Rima for like a minute to make sure her spot was still saved, and then left to see the talent, which is what they call the celebrities and actors and actresses and producers and directors. They call them talent. So she went to go see these people instead of waiting in line herself. So while she's there, there's this huge line forming, and she's obviously not there. So we, thanks to L'Oreal Paris, we were given priority spots, or priority tickets, thingies. And, like, I didn't know what was going on, so the volunteers, they were coming, they opened the line, and they said, "Okay, guys, here, enjoy your show." And I'm thinking, okay, because normally, with a volunteer voucher, you give your voucher and get one in return. Yeah, you get your actual film ticket in return. And, yeah, we didn't do that. They gave us priority spots, which were great spots, thanks L'Oreal Paris. And, yeah, that other girl had to wait, and she got crappier spots than we did. So, serves you right, making us wait for you. Lost your spot. Yeah, and we saw the director and producer and some of the actors in the film, and one of them, I can't for the life of me remember her name. She's the main actress. She's a famous Indian actress, obviously in Indian films. She has won 4 of the major film awards that could be given out in India. And yeah, she hadn't been acting she retired, and she hasn't been acting for 15 years, and this was like her great comeback, and the reaction of people when she walked on stage to like say a thank you and like a thank you for welcoming me thing spiel. They were like, "Oh my gosh, thank you for coming back, we love you!" And it was insane. It was just beautiful. And like she's just so like composed and so proper, and I'm like so elegant. It was just, oh my gosh, it was beautiful. And the majority of women who were there, well, because it was an Indian film, the majority of women there were wearing saris or langas or traditional Indian wear, and it was beautiful. Like, you don't see that often. Like, you don't see women just walking around the streets of Toronto. Like, the majority of Indian women wearing saris. You don't. Only at TIFF you would see this. So, yeah, that was fun. On the way back, we were supposed to catch the train, and we missed it by like 4 minutes. It was the last train to where we were going, and so we had to wait another hour for a bus, a go bus. So we waited the hour, and we were like one of the first people in line, but it was also it was full. Like, some people at the end of it had to stand. One of the people that were about to stand beside me, I was sitting in a seat on the aisle, one of the people reeked of weed. Now, I don't care if you smoke it or whatever, it's your business, it's your prerogative, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if you smoke it, do it, whatever. But when you go into a crowded place where there are a lot of people, and know that the smell might disturb some people, don't smell of it. This guy reeked of weed, and I smelled it, and I was like, it was just, it was so strong, and I was just like, no, this is too much for me to handle. Yeah. So don't smell of it. Spray something, or like air out your sweater or something. I don't know. Just don't. No, when you're in a crowded place, it's common courtesy. You just be careful of how you smell, and not just that sense, but if you reek of BO, careful of how you smell. Yeah, there was another person. He didn't sit like directly beside me, but he sat like directly in front of me, beside me, diagonally in front of me. Yeah, and he got on with his friend who sat directly beside me, or in front of me, and he brought on, huh?
And so what's with you in your directions?
You can't do directions. Yeah, and he brought on with him a tall boy. For those of you who don't know what a tall boy is, it's a big can of beer. So he brought that on the bus with him, and I'm thinking like, okay, maybe he's not gonna open it or whatever. Maybe he's just gonna save it for when he actually gets off. I don't know. But no, lights went off, and he turns to his friend, he's like, yo, lights went off, man. And he drinks it. I'm like, really? You couldn't have waited until you got off, or you couldn't have drank it before you got on the bus? Like, no, you don't do that. It was just, I don't know. There was something. So yeah, it was a fun experience. Oh, another thing. So I was trying to get to sleep last night. It's like 3:30 in the morning, because we got home at like 2:20, 3:30 in the morning. And what do I hear? I hear people yelling till no end outside my window, and I'm like, just shut up. It's this guy saying, this one girl in her car with her phone on speaker, and I can hear the phone from my room, and saying like, where are you? Like, I had my phone and I couldn't have contacted you, and I ran out of battery and all this stuff, and she's like cursing or whatever. I was like, dude, there are little children that live on this street. Watch your mouth. And then another guy, I don't know if it's the guy she was talking about or if she left, and I have no idea who he was talking to, but he was like, oh, I always take care of you and all this stuff and blah blah blah, and just yelling, and I'm just, at one point I was almost asleep, and he just yells, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm awake now, thank you. God, people don't know common courtesy anymore. Oh, it's annoying. Yeah, so that was an eventful day / night. If you want to look at photos of celebrities that have been going, of the talent that were at TIFF, or just general people that were there, like if you had your photo taken and you want to find it or whatever, you can go to this website, visa.ca/spotlight, and you can see photos of they say celeb photos on the website. They don't say talent photos. So you see photos of celebrities and just general people. Her and I got a photo taken, so you might see us there. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'll be making a video on Sunday about what it means to date in the Arab world.
Woo!
Or what it means to date or to not date in the Arab world.
Woo!
Yeah. So be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, like, whatever. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.